Before Netflix's global sensation Squid Game captured the world's attention, South Korea endured a real-life nightmare far more haunting. This is the story of the Brothers' Home, a place where survival became a cruel game, leaving scars that still weigh heavily on the nation. The 1980s in South Korea were marked by rapid industrialization. While some prospered, many were left behind, struggling in poverty. Under the oppressive regime of Chun Doo-hwan, the government initiated aggressive campaigns to clean up the streets. These efforts targeted homeless individuals, orphans, and others deemed undesirable, who were forcibly sent to facilities like the Brothers' Home. For Han Jong-sun, the nightmare began on what seemed to be an ordinary autumn day. A trip to the city with his father took a devastating turn when he and his sister were left briefly with a police officer. Within moments, they were forced onto a bus.
My father left us with a police officer for a few minutes while he ran some errands. Suddenly, a bus stopped and we were forced inside. We screamed, "Daddy told us to wait here." But no one listened. They beat us for crying too loudly.
One survivor shared a harrowing memory. Accused of stealing bread at just 13, a police officer tortured him with a lighter until he confessed to a crime he didn't commit.
I was only 13 when they accused me of stealing bread. A police officer burned my genitals with a lighter until I confessed to a crime I didn't commit. That was the beginning of my prison life at Brothers' Home.
Another survivor, Choi, spent almost 5 years in the Brothers' Home. He described a system designed to crush the human spirit. Inmates given authority over others, known as platoon leaders, had free rein to inflict violence.
The platoon leaders, who were inmates given authority, could do anything to us. I was raped repeatedly. People were killed for resisting. I saw a man beaten to death and dragged away in a blanket. He never returned.
These atrocities were part of a broader government policy called the Social Purification Projects. Under Chun Doo-hwan's orders, authorities were instructed to clear the streets ahead of international events like the 1988 Seoul Olympics. Homeless people, individuals with disabilities, and even those unable to show identification were rounded up and sent to welfare centers. These privately run facilities received government subsidies based on their population, incentivizing mass abductions. Life inside the Brothers' Home was unrelenting. Survivors remember folding envelopes, making toothpicks for hours, and enduring barely edible, pest-ridden food. Cramped, unsafe sleeping conditions added to their misery. Many were subjected to conditions that could only be described as inhumane, leaving them to navigate a world devoid of compassion or hope.
We slept 4 to a bed, crammed together. It was impossible to feel safe.
During this period, countless families were torn apart, their lives forever changed by policies designed to control the most vulnerable members of society. These actions were not isolated, but rather part of a broader system of oppression that prioritized appearances over human dignity. Survivors speak not only of their own pain, but of the collective trauma endured by those around them, many of whom did not live to tell their stories. The horrors remained hidden until 1987, when a group of inmates escaped and revealed the truth. Their testimonies exposed a system of unchecked brutality and corruption. Yet, justice was slow. The owner of the Brothers' Home, Park In-gun, received minimal prison time, leaving survivors feeling abandoned and unheard. The themes of Squid Game, desperation, exploitation, and survival echo deeply with South Korea's history. The show's creator, Hwang Dong-hyuk, grew up during this dark period, and the games portrayed in the series mirror the harsh realities faced by many. The Brothers' Home stands as a grim reminder of the perils of unchecked power and societal neglect. While South Korea has made significant progress, the wounds of this past linger. The games may have ended, but the fight for justice and accountability continues.